So, Chris, you had the story on the scrapping of divisions and the discussion about that, loosening the championship game requirements. What's kind of been the scuttlebutt? What are kind of the main points that you take away from this storyline?
Yeah, so the Football Oversight Committee has recommended, and it's expected to be approved this month, that you basically remove the requirements needed to host a conference championship game. As it currently stands, you either got to have two divisions or you got to play everybody in your league like the Big 12 does. They're going to get rid of that and say, league conferences, you can get to your championship game however you want. And with that deregulation, a bunch of conferences are looking at getting rid of their current division. Leagues like the SEC have discussed it for a while, especially since it's going to 16 teams. The Mountain West has been discussing it. The ACC is a topic of discussion as well. So it's a combination of getting rid of divisions and changing how you schedule. You know, you've got Texas A&M and Georgia have barely ever played each other since A&M joined the league. The conferences have gotten so big now that you want to be able to play everybody. So maybe that's you have 3 protected games every year, 2 or 3. The other games are rotating or something like that. And you pick the top 1 or 2 teams. Or you have pods, like half divisions that play each other. There's a lot of different possibilities out there. It's going to allow more freedom and a lot more fresh matchups, I think, for fans.
Each conference has its own identity, personality, strengths, weaknesses. Not many. Well, there's a couple of them. Of course, the SEC and the Big Ten are the ones are the alpha dogs. But do you ever see, Chris, the conferences or the Power Fives ever agreeing on how many or the same number of conference games?
And not as long as they all have their own TV deals. I mean, it used to be the same. It used to be 8. Mm-hmm. Everybody did 8. And then the Pac-12 and the Big Ten went to 9 because they wanted to get more content for their TV network. And the SEC never did. So I found it weird that everybody complained about the SEC playing 8 conference games when it was everybody else who changed. And playing 8 conference games helps the SEC get more teams in the playoffs and whatnot. So as long as conferences have their own networks, their own TV deals, they're going to kind of do that on their own and whatever they feel is best for their conference.
Do you feel that when and if we get the 12-team playoff that there will be, though, I mean, because we're going to have different governance by the time that comes, that there will be some sort of, look, the Big 12's had to change their rules several times just to even get people to look at them in the playoff, that other conferences will be like, okay, we need some uniformity here just because of the new playoff and that there is new governance?
I don't think the only people who can determine how many conference games you play are the conferences. So that's really going to just come up to them individually. There's not one overruling party in college sports. It's run essentially by the conferences and by the schools. The playoff is run by the conferences. They haven't made any uniformity on that yet, and I don't expect it to either because, especially the Power Five, they're generally all off doing their own thing.
Zach,